Good evening. Thank you very much for inviting us here today. We're very excited to share with you the Sosandar story this evening. So, Sosandar was founded by myself and my business partner, Ali Hall, and we're a rapidly growing women's fashion e-commerce brand that's listed on AIM. I'm going to kick off the presentation. I'm going to tell you a bit about mine and Ali's background and also what the vision is for Sosandar and what our market positioning is. Then James is going to talk to you about the finances and then back to me to give you some operational highlights. So prior to launching Sosandar, Ali and I had long, successful careers in the fashion and media industries, which included launching Look magazine. Look, that was in 2007, which from nothing became the #1 selling fashion magazine in the UK. It was a multi-million-pound print and digital business, which we ran together for 10 years. So prior to launching Sosandar, Ali and I had already worked together for 10 years. We also had extensive experience in designing and producing fashion ranges for a number of high street retailers under the Look brand name. So we worked with retailers such as Debenhams, Oasis, Office and JD Williams. So it was while we were working on these ranges that we identified the opportunity for what was eventually to become Sosandar. To cut a very long story short, we successfully raised £2 million of launch capital, left our old lives in media and started the business from scratch in 2015. It sounds very easy when you say that in a sentence, but believe me, it was not easy, raising £2 million of launch capital. We started trading just over 2 years ago in September 2016, and then last November we completed an IPO on AIM, raising £5.3 million, which has really enabled us to accelerate the growth of the business. So basically, over the last 2 years, we've laid the foundations for growth and made huge strides operationally and financially, and we're delivering on the growth plan that we set out to investors. The business has had outstanding growth over the last year, with sales up over 400%, and so we're really excited about what we've achieved in the last 2 years and very excited to be sharing some of those highlights with you today. So, what is Sosandar? So, we target a new generation of fashion-forward women who've graduated from the younger throwaway fast fashion brands, which I'm sure you will have heard a lot about. Our customers want trend-led, quality, affordable clothing with a premium aesthetic. So, we are targeting what we call the fast fashion graduate and those who are frustrated with the mumsy middle ground. So if you look on this chart, in the top left-hand corner, what you've got are the young fashion brands like Topshop and ASOS. And then in the bottom right, you've got brands that typically would target an older audience, so the area that we call the mumsy middle ground. So our customers are coming from both of these areas. So the customers in the bottom right come to us because they're frustrated with the older brands that are out there currently, and they see them as being a bit dull or a bit mumsy. And then in the top left, we're attracting customers from this market as they grow out of younger fast fashion brands. And so that top left market is an incredibly rich market because as these women get older, they will constantly be feeding Sosandar. So the demographic that we're targeting, so we broadly say it's 35 to 54-year-old women, and they spend a fortune on clothes. They actually spend more money on clothes than any other demographic, £3.7 billion a year in the UK. Yet, up until now, they've been incredibly underserved. So Sosandar is a brand that women are really emotionally identifying with, and we've been absolutely overwhelmed by the positive feedback that we're getting from customers, saying that at last somebody understands what they want in clothes. So this next chart just shows you our actual customers, and you can see that we've hit the target market on the head. So we peak in the 45 to 54-year-old bracket, but you can see that we've got a really wide appeal across all ages, so from women in their 20s to women in their 60s and 70s. So this bodes incredibly well for the lifetime value of a customer for Sosandar, because once we recruit them, it means they're not going to grow out of Sosandar as a brand. So I'm going to hand you over to James now, who's going to tell you a bit more about us financially.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to run through our key numbers and KPIs just to give you an idea of the success we've had to date. So starting with our revenue, the pink bars on the graph show our revenue growth, which we've consistently improved since inception, 407% in the last year. What the grey line shows is our cost of a percentage of revenue. So what we've been able to do successfully is grow our revenue, but importantly do it with increasing cost efficiencies. That's coming from our increasing repeat customer base, which is cheap through the second orders and third orders, and also with the general economies of scale that come with growth. In terms, when we first raised the money in November 17, one of the key areas we'd identified for the spend was to increase our customer acquisition and brand awareness. The graph on the left shows our customer acquisition, so the new customers that we've recruited, and that's up 362% year on year. Importantly, though, those customers are proving to be very loyal and increasing our repeat orders. They're up 615% year on year, and what they're doing is they're coming through the cheaper channels like email and direct traffic, and they're effectively free, and that's what is one of the reasons that's driving our cost efficiencies. From a cost-based perspective, the graph on the left breaks down our key areas of spend. So the grey section of the chart shows our marketing spend, and that is the biggest area of growth. The pink area is our central operations, and that's another area that we've invested in as a business. So that will include our marketing teams to increase the brand awareness, the PR teams to extend our celebrity coverage, and our general operations. But also we've invested quite a lot into our lifestyle photography, which is really important because it's used across all of our marketing channels. And what we're trying to build is a brand and a lifestyle, not just selling the products. The graph on the right shows each of those areas as percentage of revenue. And again, you can see we've had continued success in that. The grey line is our marketing spend as a percentage of revenue, and that's improved as our cost of acquiring our customers. We've been much more efficient with that, and the cost of acquiring the customers is more than halved. But also increasingly that repeat business that we get, which will underpin our future growth and profitability. Equally, in our operations side, all of the areas that we've invested in have become increasingly efficient and will drive future profitability. The demand that we're generating is shown through a lot of our key KPIs. So the top left is our web visits. That's the number of people that visit our site. That has grown consistently and is up 233% year on year. Conversion, which is the number of people who visit our site who then go on to order. Again, we've seen consistent growth in that area, and we're up to 2.75%, which compares really favourably with the likes of Boohoo and ASOS, much more established players, and just shows the way that we've connected with our customers. Both of those factors have combined to increase our orders and the economies of scale that come with order growth. Also, we've been able to increase our average order value, so the average spend. That's up to £105 now, and that compares really favourably and is higher than the likes of ASOS and Boohoo. With all of that as well, we've been able to not only improved our cost efficiencies, but also our margin efficiencies. So we've been able to grow our margin by up to 55%. We've been able to do that by selling higher priced items and product mix, but also as we've grown, our buying power has improved, and that has really helped us drive margin efficiencies. We're now up to 55%. And again, that compares to Boohoo at 55% and ASOS at 50%. So really strong margin, and as a 2-year-old business, we've still got a lot of growth to go. Finally, from a balance sheet perspective, so in terms of our financial position, the business closed the period end in September with £2.6 million of cash. That was further strengthened by a £3 million placing in October, which was driven by institutional demand. We're 100% online to customers, so we don't have any kind of credit, straight into the bank. In terms of our suppliers with stock, we don't actually currently have any credit terms, so that is, again, somewhere that we can work to going forward and improve our working capital. However, as our order quantities increase and relationships with suppliers build, that's where we'll see some real improvement there. From a working capital perspective, we've also seen a huge improvement in our stock turn, our stock days, and we've been able to achieve a 407% revenue growth off only 43% increase in stock. That just shows how we're connecting again from a product perspective with our customers, and the success that we're having there. In the last 6 months, we invested into website improvements, so we moved on to a Magento 2 platform, That's the leading e-commerce platform in the world, and we're on the latest version of it, so that's really future-proofed us going forward. Generally, as a business, we have limited capex, so with the cash position that we've got, we're well placed to support the future growth of the company. So I'll pass you back now to Julie to go through the operational side.
Thank you. So I'm just going to tell you a bit more now about our product, our marketing, and then finally our logistics and technology. So we design all our product in-house, led by myself and my business partner. We've got a very strong supply chain across Europe and the Far East, and our test and repeat model means that we can order very small minimum order quantities and then repeat the best-selling garments so that it basically minimises our stock risk. Over the last 6 months, a real key focus for us has been increasing our speed to market. So basically, the time from designing a garment to that garment going on sale, we've now reduced that to only 10 weeks, which is incredibly fast. And repeats we can get in 3 to 4 weeks. The reason why this is so important is it enables us to react really quickly to sales, to trends, and to customer demand. We've also expanded our style count, which gives the customer more choice. And we've also increased our size range. We now cover sizes 6 to 20. So this chart just gives you an idea of how the style count has grown as the business developed and also how the depth of buy has grown. So the pink bars show the number of styles that we have launching and the grey line shows the depth of buy. So the strategy of growing range means that we give the customer as much choice as possible and therefore improve the conversion rate and attract more people. While we drive margin efficiencies by ordering deeper quantities. So I've got here just some examples of our top-selling products, which people are always quite interested in. So we sell really well across all product categories, from skirts, tops, party wear, denim, leather jackets, fabulous gold boots you see there. Recently we launched a range of scarves, which have literally flown out the door, and we've had to manufacture them and reorder them 3 times already. So with marketing, we really focus on connecting with our customers emotionally through a variety of different channels. So it's not just about selling product, it's about building a lifestyle brand that our customers emotionally engage with. So we use stunning lifestyle imagery that both builds the brand and drives sales, and this forms the basis of all our highly targeted campaigns to our customer demographic. We use Instagram and Facebook like a shop window, so it's forever changing and forever showcasing our new product. And then we have extensive celebrity endorsement, which I'm going to tell you a bit more about in a moment, which really helps to build brand credibility. Data science basically underpins the whole of our marketing strategy, in fact, the whole of our business. And nowhere is it more evident than in the direct mail catalogues that we produce. So we send out monthly glossy direct mail catalogues. We use these as both a customer acquisition tool, but also to drive our repeat business. And we also work really tirelessly on getting a seamless customer journey, which includes waitlist functionality. So basically, this is something that customers can sign up to, and as soon as a product comes back in stock in their size, they're automatically notified. The reason this works so brilliantly is we're building a brand where customers know that they have to buy things quickly from Sosandar, otherwise it will sell out. So it's creating very good customer behaviour. People are buying at full price and they're buying quickly. It also means that when we get returns coming in or reorders coming in, the emails go out immediately. So we literally sell the product straight away with very little marketing cost. So it's like a win-win situation having a waitlist functionality. And then once we've captured a new customer, we work incredibly hard to keep that customer. So not just with great product, which is a given, but also with really strong marketing communication. So you can see here, this is some of the channels that we attract people through, and you can see how every single channel is in fantastic growth. And in particular of note is things like direct and email, which carry no cost or very little cost for us to attract customers that way. And this is where you can see the repeat customers are coming back and how we're driving efficiencies in our business model. So let me come on to celebrities. So our strategy with celebrities is to target a really broad cross-section, whether it be actresses, TV presenters, or sportswomen. We don't pay any of these celebrities, we just gift them products. So again, it's a very low-cost way of building the Sosandar brand. So we're basically building up an army of famous people who are wearing Sosandar. This sells the actual items, but it also builds incredible credibility for the brand and makes Sosandar very desirable to our customers. Got some specific examples here. So we were very excited because it's my favourite programme. We were on Strictly Come Dancing just a few weeks ago when Dame Darcy Bossell wore our dress. That dress completely sold out. We now have 1,000 people on the waiting list for that dress. Becky Adlington was presenting on TV recently and wore that dress of ours. She also then wore it again. We spotted her in the audience on Strictly wearing it again, so she obviously loved the dress. Melanie Sykes, we've been targeting for quite some time, and we were very excited that she finally wore one of our outfits just last week. And Kath Tildesley was on Coronation Street. She was a big actress on Coronation Street. She's now a TV presenter and social influencer. She has about 500,000 followers. She wears our clothes all the time. So these are just some examples of the types of celebrities that we're getting to wear our clothes. We also get extensive free media coverage. So we're regularly on TV, on Lorraine, on This Morning, the presenters on Loose Women and The One Show wear our clothes, and we've also been featured in every single national magazine and newspaper numerous times, and again, this doesn't cost us anything. So finally on to logistics and technology. So we continue to make really big strides forward in both of these areas. Clipper Logistics are our third-party provider, and they're absolutely first in class. So to give you some idea of their scale, they do all the returns for ASOS. They've also recently been appointed the logistics provider for Pretty Little Thing, which is part of Boohoo. So they deal with all our in- and outbound stock, as well as processing returns within hours. And they've seamlessly handled a 5-fold increase in orders over the last 12 months. We've now moved to a 7-day week operation with them. And basically, they are perfectly poised for us to work with them to scale this business as we go forward. In terms of technology, we're mobile first, and as James said, we're built on Magento, which is the world's leading e-commerce platform. We've got fully integrated systems in the business, and as I said, the business is entirely underpinned by really strong data analysis that runs throughout. We also pride ourselves, last but by no means least, we pride ourselves on first-class customer service. We have real people in the office answering the telephone, which our customers absolutely love. So we really do go above and beyond to make sure that our customers are happy. So finally, in terms of outlook, we're really confident about the outlook for the business. The momentum that we've seen in the first half of the year has continued into the second half, and we've had record orders in October and November. We're in a market that's also in very strong growth as women are increasingly buying more and more clothes online. We've got a strong cash position, reinforced by the £3 million placing in October. We've got a very clear growth strategy in place, and we're very focused on driving efficiencies. It's not just about top-line growth, but it's also about being very efficient with our spend. So we're well prepared for the next 12 months and incredibly excited about the coming year. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. I think we now have time for questions.
Now, who's got some questions for Julie and James of Sosandar? You've got a few questions here. Let's go right at the back to start with. Thank you.
Know about sourcing.
Yes.
At what point do you manufacture, warehousing, where you keep the stuff, and where Clipper get it from, and to get it to where it's got to go?
So let me start with sourcing. So the garments are made. Everything's designed in-house. Tech packs go out to factories around the world. We have a number of factories that we work with in various places around the world. The product, when it's completed and made, is flown in. The only product that comes overland is from Spain, so shoes come overland from Spain. But apart from that, everything's flown in. That comes into Manchester Airport, picked up by truck, and it's delivered to Clipper, and our Clipper warehouse is in Selby in Yorkshire.
Isn't it? Let's, gentleman here.
What is your competitive advantage? So what would stop...
Into the microphone, please. Thank you.
Yeah, what is the competitive advantage? And if I was to try and compete with you, setting up a similar business, what would stop me?
Technically, there are no barriers to entry. Technically, anybody could launch a brand. I think there are lots and lots of brands out there trying to do similar things to this. Arguably, you could say Marks and Spencer's are doing this. I think what's special and unique about Sosandar is mine and my business partners absolute, total and complete understanding of our customer and the ability to produce, to get the garments right. And we've seen a multitude of other retailers get it wrong for so long, and we saw an opportunity to get it right. So I think we totally understand what our customer wants. We're proving that out with the garments that we're designing. But it's not just about the garments, it's about the brand. We're building a brand that women emotionally engage with and they see it as being for them. So we see a brand being, is your protection basically. If you build a brand that women absolutely love, somebody else could produce garments, but they wouldn't be coming from the same brand. It's a bit like Zara, for example, being a fantastically successful brand that targets broadly a younger demographic. The Zara brand has got such fantastic fashion credibility that younger women would choose to go to Zara, for example, rather than go somewhere like Dorothy Perkins, because it has a much better, it's just got a fantastic brand ethos and people believe in the brand. So that's why it's very important for us to build the brand that women want to shop at. So the brand protects us, I think. The reality also is, though, of course, to be honest, the fashion market is huge. And it's women are increasingly looking for, always looking for new places to buy clothes. If you look at the younger market, there are a multitude of successful fast fashion retailers targeting 18 to 30-year-olds. At the moment, Sosandar's got first mover advantage in this area. If other entrants came into the market, they probably wouldn't do exactly what we're doing, but the market would be big enough to support other businesses, so I don't think it would necessarily damage us.
So typically,
kind of makes a market, I suppose.
Okay, so typically, where would your customer have shopped before they shopped
everywhere,
with you?
Everywhere. Okay. Everywhere, and been very frustrated a lot of the time. So and moaned, which is what we saw. So we saw over a number of years, we just saw these customers as they got into their 30s and 40s and into their 50s moaning about all the shops that they shopped in. Either they were too frumpy, too expensive, or too young. And that was really but they would have shopped everywhere. And of course, they do still shop in, lots of different places because women don't only shop in one shop.
All right, thank you.
All right, next question, perhaps a gentleman here in the glasses.
Hi. My wife does an awful lot of online shopping.
Yes.
With one of your competitors, unfortunately, so
right.
ASOS generally.
Yes.
It never ceases to amaze me how much she orders,
Yep.
but also how much she sends back.
Yep.
What are your sort of return rates like in comparison to your competitors? And is that what's the trend with that? Obviously, with your expanding range, is that increasing?
Yep. So for the 6 months ended September, our return rates was 52%. That's slightly higher than we've experienced before, purely because we had really strong performance in our dresses, which are harder to fit and generally have higher return rates. We're also overachieved in terms of our customer acquisition targets, and we know that new customers return higher than returning customers because they're getting used to the brand. So in terms of returns, it's a fundamental part of our business. The bedroom is the changing room now. And so we're confident that we can have a profitable business model even with return rates at that level. However, we do work relentlessly in terms of understanding on an individual product basis what is driving the returns, and we can tweak the designs and make improvements, but it's no getting away from the fact that returns is a fundamental part of doing business. Competitively, no one really sort of discloses their returns, but I believe from some of the calculations I've done, ASOS is probably just over 40%. Boohoo will be around late 30s, but they have the benefit of having menswear, which we all return lower. So there's an element of mixing that, but it's something that we're confident in as a business principle, and also confident that we can improve it.
And sorry, just to follow on from that, is the stock then resellable generally, or is it?
Yes, it literally comes in and goes back out again within hours, which is where the waitlist functionality comes in, particularly with garments that have been very fast selling. The stock literally goes straight back out. So really returns are only an issue if you couldn't resell the stock, and because we do, it's not an issue.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Next question, perhaps a gentleman on the front row here. Thank you.
Everything sounds incredibly good. But again, from an investor perspective, the valuation is very high, isn't it?
I guess something is valued at what people are willing to pay. So it's not something that's within our. We focus on the trading, and we'll allow everyone else to work out the valuations.
Okay, a couple of final questions. The lady here in the green dress. Thank you.
First of all, you said that you design in-house. Does it mean that you actually employ fashion designers, or do you outsource them?
No, everything's done in-house. So the
fashion designers are relatively expensive, are they not?
Not really, no.
My sister is one. Anyway,
no. They can be. You can pay, you can pay this much or this much for fashion designers.
Are they working here?
Sorry?
Are they working here in UK, or where are they working?
No, they're in our office. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the fashion design is led by myself and Ali. So the vision for the business and the way the clothes are is very much led by us, and our fashion designers are there to really draw the ideas.
Are they professional fashion designers?
Sorry?
Are they professional fashion designers?
Yes,
I mean,
qualified.
having,
Yes,
St. Martin's.
Yes, qualified fashion designers,
qualified.
yes.
The second one, because I'm still within your target range, why do your models are between 25 and 30?
So...
It always annoys me, I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
They are skinny, they are about 20 years younger than I am, and they are about 3 meters tall. I'm like, I can really relate to that.
Because we're obviously targeting women we call our brand ageless.
Yes.
So we know from years of experience of working in the fashion industry that women often say exactly like you would say, that you'd prefer to look at models who are the same age as us.
Well, they don't have to be
exactly. The reality we found from years and years of experience is that although women say they might want to look at older models, the reality is they don't, because in our heads, we're still 30. And so actually we want played back to us what we are in our heads rather than necessarily, and I speak from experience as well. That's come from years and years of researching and understanding women. So we took the decision to, our models are usually around 30. We work very hard to get models who are reasonably curvaceous but look good in the clothes. So it is a constant challenge finding the right models who look womanly, who look sexy so they don't look like children, but look like the type of model that our customers are relating to. And we do know when we get it wrong, because if we get it wrong, that product won't sell as well, and then we shoot it on somebody else, and the product will sell better.
Yeah, one very final question, perhaps the gentleman in the barrier at the back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting fashion. You mentioned you make size 6 to 20.
Yes.
What is the median, and how make sure that you are not making too much in the other extreme, and to make sure that you are not having unsold goods?
Obviously the data, we use the data all the time from what we're selling to basically inform that curve that we buy and how we buy our garments. So our biggest selling sizes are 12 and 14, so the middle of the curve, but we do sell incredibly well at both ends of the curve. So we did only used to go up to a size 18, and we saw really strong demand for our product in the size 18, so we decided to trial doing a 20, and we do incredibly well in size 20 as well.
I think it's worth mentioning as well the test and repeat model. So we will do relatively low first order quantities. We would then use waitlist functionality, which is by size, to help influence the reorder, and then again it just improves the efficiency of the ordering. Very good.
Julie, I've got a final question for you.
Yes.
What's the hot fashion trend for 2019?
Leopard print.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And for gentlemen, or are you going to opine on that?
I couldn't find a leopard print suit, so maybe for next time. So.
There you go. Very good. So, Julie James of Sosandar, thank you.